Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green and you're tuning into AMTV, Alternative Media Television Live. Welcome to the underground. Shh. Shh. Be quiet. Welcome, thought criminals, revolutionaries, patriots. We've had an enormous subscription surge in recent days, in recent weeks, and I want to welcome you to the truth. We can't do it without you. We have an amazing show today, and of course, we are covering a historic, vitriolic election. Right versus left, an insane, singular, one world government, new world order party that pretends like there's differences on both sides when there's not. You know, it's kind of like we're just a punching bag in the middle. I was even reading that people think that this debate is so hate-filled, so damning on both sides, with the sexual allegations, accusations, revelations, illegal criminal activity by Hillary, Rodham, Clinton, that they can barely take it. A lot of people are just turning it off. Shh. The truth will set you free. Again, folks, I talk about this all the time, that you might not like what I have to say, but it's the truth. Mainstream media is afraid to present the truth to the American public. It's why it is a control system of propaganda owned by multi-billion-dollar corporate interests. The media is rigged. Politics is rigged. The money system is rigged. Everything is rigged, from education to everything else. You see, coming to an understanding of that is actually very dangerous in the eyes of the elite. One of the reasons why Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, the establishment media, and those that control you, not necessarily you tuning in, I'm preaching to the choir, but the rest of the boring American dipshit people and the people around the world that aren't awake, is because they know if you're truly enlightened, if you truly understand, and you can wade through the bullshit, that they'll lose power, they'll lose control. Today, I'll be talking rather plainly about a rigged election, a dangerous truth about American politics. And it's absolutely 100% the facts. We'll present them to you. The third debate tonight, of which Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, they will not be shaking hands. They hate each other. Again, more bombshells have been unloaded in recent days. Some stories even overlooked. But probably the most major item on the docket is a James O'Keefe Project Veritas multi-series 2 videos that have just absolutely destroyed the mainstream media political establishment narrative, proving without a shadow of a doubt that the voting system is rigged and that this is a rigged election, forcing the hand of faux news, the Clinton News Network, MSNBC, and others, because they can't ignore the damn breaking any longer. Bravo, James O'Keefe. Some of you are probably familiar with James because he worked directly with Andrew Breitbart before Andrew was murdered. Yes, you heard me, murdered. Remember when Andrew Breitbart said at CPAC, "I've got damning information that will end Barack Obama." And then conveniently he died. They say it was some kind of like heart issue or something. And they blamed it on the fact that he liked to drink and he was, walking away from a bar, even though he was a rather young guy, and made pretty threatening statement regarding ending Barack Obama's presidency. And then lights go out. And curiously, and we reported on this at the time, his Well, the guy doing the autopsy also died mysteriously, so they couldn't do a proper autopsy. Kind of cover it up, just dust under the rug, Kind of like with SEAL Team 6. Osama bin Laden's body just, kicking it off the side of a U.S. warship without even taking a snapshot photo. Giving the American public zero evidence. Giving him what they told us at the time was a proper Muslim burial. Team America, F yeah. Major debate tonight. Very, very critical. In fact, I did a special video on this on demand. Please click the link below. Support us. Start your free 14-day trial. For the price of a cup of coffee or green tea, you can support us directly. Alternatively, I did a special report that said this, and you've got to click the link below to watch it, that Donald Trump's campaign is on life support, courtesy of the bullshit mainstream media, unless this happens. Unless this happens. I said something needs to happen soon. Something big. The dam has got to break. Could this Project Veritas disclosure be damaging enough? I hope so. It's going viral. But I'm still skeptical that the American people will even care. Hillary Clinton could take somebody out on camera. You know what I mean by that? Could take someone out, and the American people will be like, I still don't believe it, even though there's video evidence. Just like Joey Salads, by the way, who Paul Joseph Watson congratulated along with others and was featured on the Drudge Report, was shown to be a total freaking scam artist within the last 24 to 48 hours, setting up a Hollywood studio and hiring African-American men to pose as rioters, breaking the windows and beating up a car that had been placed there. Just one big freaking scam, which also should awaken your eyes a little bit, folks. Just because you see it on camera or just because you see it on social media doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth. Be very, very skeptical. The sheer fact that Barack Obama would say things, and I'm paraphrasing a bit, to Donald Trump like, it's unheard of and unprecedented that somebody like Donald Trump would distrust the election process here in America. Like it's unheard of to be skeptical. Why should Donald Trump trust the voting system? Why should you? Why should you trust? I mean, I went through these steps earlier in a video, an audio message that I put out to the viewing public this morning. I think it was about 15 or 16 minutes, where I take you through the process a little bit. Like, okay, let's go through the process of how you vote, right? You can submit, a physical ballot at the, local school or, wherever you go to physically vote. And I run you through all the steps in all the areas that aren't being monitored and all the areas of deception and things that can go wrong, how all of this can be manipulated by a single keystroke, courtesy of the technology companies and the voting machines that people like George Soros own since 2005, I believe it was. And the big tech elitist class that is donating to Hillary Clinton's super PACs, companies like Google, brought to you by YouScrew and FaceCrook, that are not only donating to Hillary Clinton's rotten campaign, but are also advising her on her entire digital distribution and platform. Where's the transparency and where's the watchdog? As James O'Keefe pointed out, where is the FBI now that he just broke this major, major story? Probably the biggest bombshell he's ever unloaded. Where are they? Where are you, James Comey? Oh, I forgot. You're on the payroll of the Clintonista crime family. They actually threw a general under the bus who's being investigated, which I think it was courtesy of the Washington Post or something like that I read earlier this morning. Las Vegas, Nevada, tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, Arizona time. I will be covering live in real time the truth about this tertiary third debate. Please tune in, support us. like our content, share the video. Shh, be quiet. You don't want too much truth to get out. People might wake up. They might pay attention to the Podesta leak. They might pay attention to Hillary Clinton's rotten campaign and her rotten criminal foundation pay-to-play scam, where she and her husband have been bought to do favors for foreign governments, politicians, and world leaders. Countries like Saudi Arabia that treat women like shit. And Hillary Clinton calls herself a feminist. So many bombshells, so many leaks. Tonight, fight night, this is better than a Mayweather fight. The gloves are off, Hillary. The gloves are off. Donald Trump is coming for your freaking throat. And if you're not lucky, he'll tear that Adam's apple you've been hiding out of you. UNLV, final face-to-face bout in fight for president of the United States. A raucous, wild, vitriolic, almost insane event. Looking forward to it. You can't pay for this kind of entertainment, and you can't pay for this kind of exposure of the truth. A rigged election and a dangerous truth about American politics. Are you monitoring your vote? In fact, I had a subscriber, and I want to thank you, On Demand. I was going through all of our forums and messages and comments earlier this morning, and they brought something up I thought that was very smart. And I want to thank you, whoever you were. You know who you were. Who said, Christopher, why don't we all take a picture of our vote, whether or not you get an early ballot, or you do a physical vote, or you're at the computer, and then post it on social media as a form of an exit poll? What if we all did that and counted the vote ourselves? Turn the table around on the monopolistic tech class that owns you in Washington, D.C. You know, Mark Zuckerberg's really interested in politics, right? That was another damaging leak that came out courtesy of Julian Assange and his organization, WikiLeaks. He's very interested in U.S. politics and swaying public opinion on topics such as immigration, just like George Soros, pulling the puppet strings of this New World Order paradigm, raping and pillaging financial markets and destroying nations by bringing down their borders, and having a full body orgasm. Those people, those criminals that own the same voting systems that you'll be using at the polling booths. Isn't that convenient? Some 16 odd states, notably in battleground states like Florida, and even here in Arizona, will be using George Soros company voting machines. How about them apples? How about that truth? God, it kind of felt like, what was it, Matt Damon that said that? Matt Damon. A key operative in a Democratic scheme to send agitators to cause unrest at Donald Trump's rallies has visited the White House 342 times since 2009. White House records show. Robert Creamer, who acted as a middleman between the Clinton campaign, the Democratic National Committee, and protesters who tried and succeeded to provoke violence at Trump rallies, met with President Obama 47 times, according to the White House. Creamers. Last visit was in June 2016. His visits were first pointed out by conservative blog Weasel Zippers. Is stepping back from his role, he was fired. And then again by James O'Keefe in his massive viral multi-series video segment where he shows the Dem operative boasting about voter fraud. What an idiot. What an idiot. like Will Ferrell. Friggin' idiot. Ma, the meatloaf! Hidden camera video from activist James O'Keefe showed Creamer bragging that his role within the Clinton campaign was to oversee the work of Americans United for Change. Really, they should change the change to corruption. A nonprofit organization that sent activists to Trump rallies. Scott Faval, the national field director for Americans United for Corruption, explained how the scheme works. Quote, the Clinton campaign pays the DNC. The DNC pays Democracy Partners. The Democracy Partners pays the Faval Group, and the Faval Group goes and executes the shit, according to Faval. Told this to an undercover journalist. One example of the shit Faval executes was an instance in which a 69-year-old woman garnered headlines after claiming to be assaulted at a Trump rally. He says, quote, she was one of our activists. Creamer's job was to manage the work carried out by Faval. So it's just right there for the entire world to see. They're actually bragging about the shit and the crimes that they're committing. I'm waiting, Hillary, for you to talk about it. Why don't you bring it up at the debate tonight? I'm sure Donald Trump will. He brings up other topics like WikiLeaks and your crimes and your sexual predator husband. A new woman, by the way, came forward within the last 24 hours, a new sex attack allegation. Another TV journalist who was molested, allegedly, by Bill. She describes the scene on 3 separate occasions. The first one was just shoulder rubbing. The groping, that they're fabricating on CNN that Donald Trump was doing, and just kind of rubbing down and kind of inching his hands down to her tits. And then on the second and third occasions, he got more aggressive. He got it right behind her, and because he's a quickie man, he actually came all over her. She says she doesn't know if his member was out touching her or not, or if it was in his pants. She can't remember, but she does remember crying in the bathroom. She does remember that. And she also remembers, after these series of events, which she actually had to quit her job because she was living in fear. And folks, this was in the 1980s when things weren't, you just didn't really talk about this kind of thing, where she had her grandmother stay with her because she was going through psychological turmoil. And guess who showed up at her door one late night, knocking down the door? Well, you guessed it. It was Slick Willie Bill, according to her. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And he'll be all over the debate tonight, giving us that eye. Or it kind of jets out when he sees the accused, as he's literally dying right before our very eyes, probably because he has AIDS, for all the unprotected, groping, sexual attack encounters that he's allegedly had during his lifetime. But who cares, is what I say, folks. I know the American people don't give a shit. What they care about is Donald Trump. He's a racist, a misogynist, and a xenophobe, according to CNN, and I just believe it. And don't tell me anything different, Christopher. I believe CNN. I believe the Vanderbilt and former CIA operative that is Anderson Cooper. I believe him. He's telling me the truth. Shut up, Christopher. Shut up with your freaking truth. You can't handle the freaking truth, you freaking bong sheep. You'll probably smile straight to your own slaughter, like a cow. Cows are so dumb, you can slaughter one of them, and the next one right next to them just... and then he'll get slaughtered. They're that dumb. The equivalent of the pea brain that makes up most Americans today. Desensitized, propagandized, and manipulated into a vast web of intricate mind control and psychological warfare. Total destruction of your ability to think critically from every angle, and you don't even know you're being raped. Feels good, doesn't it? I bet Bill Clinton wished he could get away with that. Actual physical rape without you even knowing it. Well, the mainstream media does it all the time. I say boycott those. I want to say a bad word, but I'm going to refrain. I say we boycott the MSM, boycott the mainstream media. The dam has broken. Alternative media is winning. We are winning. And these people are losing. These are evil people. These are evil men, and they are wide and right out there in the open for all the world to see. Truth. Bombshell. Shh. Don't tell your mother. Let's go to a brief clip of the multi-viral video series that James O'Keefe, courtesy of Project Veritas, put out. We'll just play a little bit of it just to get a taste of it in your mouth. Let's go to that clip right now.
It doesn't matter what the frickin' legal and ethics people say. We need to win this motherfucker.
Hillary is aware of all the work that you guys do, I hope.
The campaign is fully enemies.
And then they tell Hillary what's going on.
Well, I mean, Hillary knows through the chain of command.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting we wait around. We need to start this shit right away.
Okay.
On every one of these fronts.
Okay.
What I call it is conflict engagement.
That's your version of reenfranchisement.
Conflict engagement in the lines at Trump rallies. We're starting anarchy here.
This is part one of our undercover investigation into the dark, backroom dealings of the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign. The culmination of a year-long investigation infiltrating the machine from the bottom all the way to the White House. There are concerns this election will be rigged. What you're about to see will make you uncomfortable and angry. It's graphic.
Do not share that video. Don't do it. Don't like it. Don't tweet it. Don't face crook it. Do not watch it. I'm telling you right now, do not watch it. Because if you do, there could be a revolution in this country. There could be an absolute pitchfork revolt. That's why I'm not going to show it. There's a comment here from the video. This is just a guy named Lars on the internet. He says, I bet they really want this guy killed. Do not watch that video. And do not share it unless you want a revolution in this country. Unless you want pitchforks in the street. I'm warning you. Do not like this video. Elections expert J. Christian Adams told Fox in Friends on Tuesday morning that there are 4 million dead people on U.S. voter rolls. Adams, who was the voting section attorney at the U.S. Department of Justice, filed 6 suits in the past year against Philadelphia and Broward County, Florida, where the voter rolls are corrupted. Adams said he had 1 case in Texas where the person died in 1944. Far-left groups continually to sue to keep the voter rolls the way they are. They continue suing to keep the voter rolls the way they are. Because the Obama administration has no desire, nor does Hillary Clinton, to clean up the voter rolls. So dead people can vote for her. They're dead, but they're huge leftists. They're huge progressives. They're all dead, which makes them really, really progressive. And they're voting for Hillary Clinton. I mean, these types of stories this is old news. We've known about this from election to election. Just like we know, or you should know, for example, that the popular vote doesn't determine who's president of the United States, right? The Electoral College does. In a dozen or so states, it doesn't come down to the popular vote. It comes down to somebody else making the decision. They set it up that way for a reason, so you really don't have a say. The whole thing is rigged. There's no transparency. There's no third-party watchdog at all. And then even if there was, there's no third-party watchdog to watch the third-party watchdog. It's all controlled digitally now via a button. And then the mainstream media will tell you exactly what to... Oh, it's, Al Gore lost. But in that case, in 2000, he actually did receive the popular vote, according to what the mainstream media was telling us, but went to George W. Bush. You see, George W. Bush had a war on his mind at the time. You see, Al Gore was more focused on inventing the internet and selling Current TV, which was sold to the Al Jazeera network, owned by the Qatari oil family. Talk about a two-faced piece of shit and a liar who, remember, went on this big, kind of high honcho, expedition around the country and world talking about global warming and all these things when he sold his own media company, a dying company, which turned into nothing basically since they bought it. So it was a great exit strategy for him, to a Qatari oil family that basically just puts out fossil fuel emissions out to the world and destroys the same planet he says and suggests that he's trying to save. But George W. Bush, you see, the elites wanted him in power because they needed a cover-up of September 11, 2001. They had buildings to blow up and Americans to kill and wars to fight in other countries that had nothing to do with the alleged perpetrators of the attack. But they did have things on their objective cheat sheet internally, like let's take out Iraq, Afghanistan, let's get rid of Gaddafi. Yeah, he needs to be dead, definitely. Let's get rid of him. And then while we're at it, let's destabilize Syria through a covert operation. This was, post-Bush, but he laid the groundwork for it. And let's create this little-known thing that had never even existed before. We'll call it, how about the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service? Yeah, sounds great. ISIS. The Islamic State, which they helped radicalize, and they've been funding directly and arming directly. Again, all truth, facts, admitted by the State Department and our own intelligence here in the United States of America. Not an opinion. I'll tell you, if it was an opinion, it's not. It's an actual fact. And how many U.S. soldiers, men and women, have died fighting these egregious wars? I've lost count. And more importantly, how many people have died in Syria recently? 500,000. Who cares about that, right? You're progressive. You're over here. You don't give a shit. You give a shit about Bruce Jenner cutting off his dick and binary sexuality and pansexuality that Miley Cyrus says she is. Dudes and guys. I even saw something in the news last night that said, I wonder who will be the first LGBTQ, Q is queer and questioning if you're unfamiliar in this strange world that we live, the first LGBTQ Supreme Court justice. Yeah, that's really what we need. Why don't we just get a dog in there next? Why not? Dogs have rights. In fact, I know some dogs, man, they're nicer and better than some of the people I know, smarter than some of the people I know. All dogs' lives matter. This detestable, morally rotten, disgusting society that makes up America. America today. Remain vigilant, folks. Donald Trump is telling you to your face, for a reason, that the election is rigged. He knows it, I know it, and you know it. He's setting the stage for an uprising in this country. And he has built an army, something that they're very, very afraid of, which is why them simply mentioning and Obama speaking to it only validates it and shows it as a giant risk to the New World Order elites. They don't want the word getting out, and they do not want that idea in your mind that this system is rigged. Because the second you believe that, everything changes. There is no order. There's chaos. There's destruction. There's revolt. We turn into the third world countries, which I would argue we already are, that our leadership tells us, oh, they're bad. Or they're dictatorial. Yeah, Kim Jong-un, he's going to start nuclear war, which he might. I'm not saying he's a good guy. Just like I've never said Bashar al-Assad's a good guy or Gaddafi was a good guy. But they did put a lid on a lot less destruction that's come post the aggressive and intentional illegal intervention and invasion of the Middle East, for example. So they don't want that idea in your mind. The minute it's kind of like finding out that Santa Claus isn't real, right? When I learned Santa Claus wasn't real, I was like, Mom, Jesse told me in school that Santa Claus wasn't real. Is that true? And she tried to cover it up for a while. She's like, no, son, it's real, it's real. She didn't want to burst my bubble. I'm a kid. It was a time of innocence, right? My parents loved me. No, he's real. But I kept asking and pestering, like, damn it, is he freaking real? I don't think he is. You're lying to me. And she's finally like, God, you put me in the corner and didn't want my brother to know about it. No, he's not. What? He's not? I didn't even want to hear the truth. I knew it. I suspected it. But when I heard it, I really didn't want to hear it. And then another thought popped in my mind, and I just shot back, well, what about the Easter Bunny? What about the Tooth Fairy? What about all these? Oh my God, none of it's real. You think it's any different now? It's not. They've pulled the wool over your eyes, and it's time for you, whether you like it or not, to really see for the first time, to really understand how fragile this country is. They are only holding it together. Ding! Like by a hair follicle. They know it, Donald Trump knows it, and I know it. It's exactly why there's a populist uprising in this country. And yes, Donald Trump is there as a face and a leader. But he's really there because of you. And the movement is here because of you. And alternative media is here because of you. The rage and anger is here because it's justified. Because you are getting screwed. You are getting raped. And you are being lied to. And you are being stolen from. And you are being brainwashed. Santa Claus isn't real. Nor is what Obama's telling you. Nor is what Hillary is telling you. Nor is what the television set is telling you. It's all bullshit, and it ain't good for you. Thank you, George Carlin. Rest in peace, brother. Ideas, and an idea, is one of the most amazing, beautiful, passionate things in the world, but it can also be the most dangerous weapon. The country, for example, founded on an idea of liberty and freedom and justice for all, and an eradication of tyrants, kings, and queens of which we shed blood to fight against and declare our independence, our 1776. But just like it can be good, it's also a dangerous weapon. They don't want you to know that this system is rigged. They don't want you to know this is a rigged election. They don't want you to know that the money system is an illusion, that your education is an illusion, that the media is an illusion, that your health care is an illusion. It's all an illusion. It's all a lie. And it's all your Santa Claus. It's the same thing. Wake up. See the light. See the truth. If you dare, you'll be labeled alt-right. Oh, he's a thought criminal. How dare he disagrees or she disagrees with. I want to welcome all the ladies to the show, by the way. I've noticed our demographics have been shifting recently. We're still heavily male-dominated. There's a lot of testosterone in the room, boys, which is really, really cool. But we got some pretty sexy ladies coming on board AMTV. I want to welcome all of you. Thank you. We need some tough estrogen ladies. Balance things out a little bit for us men. I mean, if there weren't women on this planet, we'd just kill each other. I mean, really, there's some truth to that. You keep us sane. A lot of the times you're the brains behind everything. We're just kind of the animals out there. It's true. So many millennials tuning into. It's amazing. The largest demographic I meet. What I perceive, I'm not that old, but I see it seems like kids, but they're shaking my hand. Christopher, thank you for what you do. We even take a Snapchat photo together. pretty darn cool. People are waking up. Things are changing. The internet, Obama's right about, baby. It's the wild, wild west. That's right. They can't control the narrative any longer. Information is too fragmented. They shut you down here and something else opens up. They shut that down, another thing opens up. They shut down that, another thing opens up. Keeps populating. They can't stop the revolutionary idea. Soros-connected company provides voting machines in 16 states. Smartmatic, a UK-based voting technology company with deep ties to George Soros, has control over voting machines in 16 states, including battleground zones like Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Other jurisdictions affected are California, District of Columbia, Illinois, Louisiana, Missouri, New Jersey, Oregon, Washington, and Wisconsin. Its website includes a flowchart that describes how the company has contributed to elections in the U.S. from roughly 2006 to 2015, with 57,000 voting and counting machines deployed and 35 million voters assisted. Thank you, George Soros. Wait a minute, how is this transparent? You donate to the super PAC that's Hillary Clinton. You rape and pillage countries through short selling and destroy currencies. Basically, Hillary's on your payroll. You've openly funded and destabilized through your open border agenda countries like the United States and Europe. And you're telling me you also own the voting machines that most of us are going to vote on here in the next... What? Rigged. 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 How many times do I have to freaking tell? There was a couple comments in the video I put up there like, Christopher, man, how do you know it's rigged, man? Come on, man. I talk to these people all the time. It's like, you're way too much of a conspiracy theorist, man. You got to have like some trust, you know? Like these people are looking out for us, you know? Like Hillary Clinton, man, she might not be perfect, but she's a good person, you know? Yeah, there's people, they're just looking out. They're looking out for you and me. Okay, that goes against human nature, by the way. I don't know. They set up the country with all these different mechanisms to combat tyranny, checks and balances. That's why we have the different branches of government. But, dude, come on, man. It's like a conspiracy. Dude, you've got no proof. Dude, it's staring you right in the face. Just like you probably also believe Santa Claus is real, right? No, he's not. I'm sorry. I wish he was. Seriously. It was heartbreaking when I learned it. But, it's the truth. And I had to deal with it and grow up and become a man and face the fire of truth. Sorry. Hate to burst your freaking bubble, you freaking idiot. Sorry your brain is this size, and although I don't like to give humans or myself too much credit, if your brain's a pea, mine's like a little bit bigger. And that's all it takes to recognize that we're all being lied to and that the government can't be trusted. And it's all a charade. And Obama is a charlatan, and Hillary Clinton is a whore, and her husband is a sexual predator. All basic facts and truths that are just staring you right in the eye. Eric Schmidt, working directly with the Clinton campaign, basically handles the entire distribution, the digital distribution platform that makes up Hillary Clinton's website, her financing, the ability to accept donations, hold credit card payments, manage social media, marketing through, you've noticed it. I know you have, but her social media anti-Trump campaign is really effective. I mean, it's far superior to anything that Donald Trump is delivering. And you might have asked your question, well, why? Donald Trump's a billionaire. He's got some money. He's definitely not in the same ballpark in terms of the financing that Hillary's received. Well, here's why. Monopolies like Google, multi-billion dollar companies, are handling the entire operation. They handle everything. It's a turnkey solution for Hillary Clinton. Silicon Valley is in bed with her. George Soros is screwing her. So, of course, that's not a transparent system. That's a rigged system. Oh, but that only happens in other countries, Chris. Yeah, it's other countries like China. They censor the internet, not here. Of course not. They don't demonetize content and block content worldwide or bring up erroneous copyright disputes or shut down websites or turn off the internet to people like Julian Assange or, kill people. They don't do that here. Shit, that's other countries, man. They would never do that here in the United States of America. Come on. They're looking out for you, Chris. Come on, man. Yeah, they're good people. Come on. They're good people. I trust Don Corleone more. At least I know what I'm getting with him. He's, come on, Chris. Come on. Show me a little fucking respect. Show me a little respect. Come here. I'm gonna make you an offer. You can't refuse. Obama's half-brother clashes over debate. He actually supports Trump. Born in Kenya, but not Obama. He was born in the United States. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That fabricated document they gave us, it's the truth. Like they couldn't just print that up. Yeah, they don't have the technology to do that. I mean, I could print out a document saying I was born in Kenya. Literally from the machine we got over here. It's that good. Just go on Photoshop for, I don't know, take me about 5 minutes and be like, Christopher Green, born in Kenya. Obama's half-brother, he's a Trump supporter. He's a businessman. I believe he's in Shenzhen, China. I think a pretty successful guy, but, oh yeah, there's Obama right there in some Kenyan garb. He's born in America, though. It's a conspiracy theory. Just like they're going after Sheriff Joe Arpaio right now, and they're bringing faulty accusations against him on a racial profiling case, because remember, Sheriff Joe Arpaio spearheaded the birther movement along with Donald Trump. Yeah, he's a racist and a xenophobe, too, and definitely sexist. How can a guy even approach a woman anymore? Seriously, like let's say you like a girl and you take her out on a date and you're like, damn, that chick's hot, man. So like you ask her out and you're being a total gentleman and you buy her dinner and you guys have really good conversation. You're like, yeah, man, the night's coming to a close. You step out of the taxi, you walk her up, perfect gentleman. You're like, I don't know, man. I think she's giving me the signal. I think I should go for it. And you try to give her a kiss. In Hillary Clinton's book, that's sexual assault. You assaulted her. You've groped her. Like, how can you even be a man with a dick anymore? Because I like being a man with a dick. It feels good. It feels having testosterone. It does. This metrosexual society where men are now wearing makeup. They wear makeup like chicks, and they're multisexual. I like having a dick. And Bruce, I'll say this again, man. Until you cut that thing off, you are not Caitlyn. Cut your freaking dick off right now and put it on a plaque and put that on the cover of Cosmopolitan for the world to see, and you can brush stroke it and stuff and Photoshop, maybe make it look bigger. But I want to see it. Until you cut your freaking dick off, you're still Bruce. Okay? Okay, you got me? You understand what I'm saying? Dicks are good. And so are vaginas. Okay? There's a difference. You probably tell they're like, what's up? Boys have dicks, girls have vaginas. It's not a vagina dick. The dick. It's not that. It's dicks and vaginas. There's a reason for it. We're not multigender and we're not multisexual. If you drill it down to our cellular biology, you can't change your DNA. Even if, Bruce, you do. And if you do cut your dick off, I'll give it to you. I'll call you Caitlyn. But you're still a dude. You can't change your DNA. I'm sorry. You can't play God. It's not going to happen. Cut your dick off, Bruce. Betting patterns signal that a Trump presidency isn't as remote as the world thinks. So I'm not a betting man. I'm not a gambler. I've got other vices like AMTV. It's how I let my aggression out. I love this shit. I do it for free. It's amazing. Hopefully it's a catharsis for you. People are like, Christopher, man, I feel just the way you do, bro. Oh, man, yeah. I wish I could articulate like you do. Well, thank you. I'm humbled by that. But you can. We're all thinking the same thing. Come on, deep down inside, man, when you're shaking that liberal's hand, you're like, cut your dick off, Bruce. Cut it, you freaking freak. You're all thinking it, just like I am. I'm saying it because I don't give a shit. I'm tired of it. Dicks are good, vaginas are good. Sorry. Sorry. So just like they said that the Brexit was not going to happen, they fear-mongered around it, and they said it was going to be World War III, and it happened. The same thing, they're setting the same stage for the whole Trump. You know, he can't win. Yeah, believe the polls, even though they're rigged, and we know they're total untruths. Donald Trump's losing, and yeah, nobody supports him, and you're a freaking deplorable if you do. And Harambe? Pepe the Frog? He's, what is he? Like, he's on the racist hit list or something? He's a freaking frog. Come on, guys, he's a frog. Down to the wire, just like I said, down to a gnat's ass. They're going to give you the impression that Donald Trump can win, and then they're going to rig it right to Hillary, baby. George Soros, who owns her and funds her and also owns the voting machines, they're going to swing it, and the big tech companies are going to swing it Hillary. Bill Clinton's going to be in shock. He'll get another eye. He'll be sitting in the White House groping the gardener outside. He probably won't even know if you're a man or... Ugh. He would not survive the White House. Another story being buried by the mainstream media because they have more important things to talk about, like Kim Kardashian's ass. New York, speaking publicly for the first time in a Breitbart News video exclusive, a former local television news reporter from Arkansas claims she was sexually assaulted by Bill on 3 separate occasions. Now, I already gave you the play-by-play, so I don't want to gross you out too much more, but just compounding evidence. Just more facts. I mean, the women list goes on and on. Juanita Broderick, Kathleen Willey. There's so many of them. I know you don't care. I know you don't. I know you just don't give a shit. Most of you guys, most of America, not you, but they just don't care. They don't. So why even talk about it, right? Who cares, man, if she was groped? Nobody cares, but they care about Donald Trump allegedly doing, even though it's total baloney. Because CNN's telling them to believe it. They're not running any of the stories. Why not? I thought we're supposed to have an impartial, press, which we absolutely don't. The Inquirer reported, also buried by the mainstream media, and before you write it off as conspiracy, remember, guess who it was first, or at least one of the first, to come out with the whole idea that Bruce was a chick in his own crazy mind. See, if he wasn't really super loaded and rich, they'd just throw him in a padded room in one of those straight jackets. Because he's, 100 million plus deep, they're like, yeah, tell us, Bruce, about your transition. Yeah, let's give you a platform. If you were like me or anyone, they'd just throw you in a padded room. Your family would be like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? Confessions of a Clinton bagman who's turned, and again, they were the National Enquirer, these types of publications were the first to break the Bruce Jenner story. People said it was conspiracy, but it was absolutely true. I did a viral video on it. People were like, they basically told me to F off. They're like, how dare you put out a conspiracy like that? And then a couple days later, he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about cutting my dick off. Yeah, I really think, I'm the epitome of masculinity and I'm a Olympic gold champion, but I'm really thinking it's about time to cut it off. But then he never did. And I was just disappointed by it. The dick cutting part. Confessions of a Clinton bagman, his own words. This all happens during the 80s and 90s. Basically, I'll just kind of fill you in on the details. He situated Hillary for sexual escapades with women. So it was kind of like that. I don't really know how it works. And men. We all know how that works. And covered things up, like, for example, her alleged affair with Vince Foster, who was suicided, died, buried the Monica Lewinsky scandal on their behalf. I mean, it wasn't just Bill, according to him. Again, these aren't my words, these are his. Sexual trysts and just basically just revelations that Hillary is just pretty much exactly who we think who we all know she is. A really bad person. Really evil. And obviously not doing too well with her health. Now, we'll see if Donald Trump brings this up tonight. I think he should. You know, it's like they're not talking about it anymore, even though she's, has a tendency to just collapse and barrel over regularly and cough and have concussions, and she's broken elbows and she's falling down, can't get up all the time. I've fallen and I can't get up. I mean, bleeding in the brain. I mean, so many things. I, don't wish anyone ill health, but ill health. Hell came out, a Freudian slip, because that's where she should be, and it's where she's going. Should be really interesting tonight. Again, guys, this is pretty dope, dude. I'm going to be recording this live tonight. You can actually chill with me, pop open a beer or whatever it is and just chill with me tonight. We'll just be we can talk shit on Hillary Clinton tonight. And I'll talk shit on Donald Trump, man, if he gives me a reason to do so. But we'll just call it like it is. I'm interested to see. It's going to be fun. China is selling, by the way, droves of U.S. Treasuries. It's pretty much at an all-time low. I guess they've actually woken up to the whole idea that America is an illusion. They get it, as does Russia and pretty much every other country outside of ours. They realize that we're burning, and they realize that we're finished, and this is Babylon fallen, and this is kind of like Rome collapsing. So they're basically fleeing, they're running, they're getting out of Dodge, they're divesting from the once great U.S. economy, which has totally been gangbanged by the New World Order establishment bankster class. Thank you, Oracle of Bailouts, Warren Buffett, Obama lackey. We've talked a lot about war recently, and war is coming. Jill Stein, again, I saw another piece today. She's like, yeah, nuclear war is here. It's what we're going to get with Hillary Clinton. Absolutely. It's coming. The Russian bear that makes up the badass that is Vladimir Putin, who's proud of his own dick, unlike Obama and others in this country, and unlike people like myself, kind of just kicking the shit out of us. Winning the propaganda war, winning the intelligence battle, loading up on gold, divesting from American ventures and assets, creating their own new world banks, establishing the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, launching media companies that are dominating the likes of CNN in our own country, Russian state propaganda machines like RT. I'm not defending Russia. I'm not even saying Putin's a good man, but at least he's proud of his dick. I can respect that. Putin's Northern Fleet is passing through the North Sea and English Channel on its way to the Mediterranean. Royal Navy sailors track a menacing fleet of Russian warships. He's kind of moving the ships closer so they're ready, right? That's why he called, this was just a couple days ago, he's like, we've only got a couple weeks left, so let's put out a warning. Let's do a couple drills here. Let's prepare 40 million Russians, get them into their bomb shelters, prepare them for nuclear war. Let's put it out to the press immediately that America is a schizophrenic retard and they could attack at any moment in Syria, of which I will have to respond. And once we do that, we bring everybody home and we prepare them psychologically for this impending doom. Let's move and start to move our naval fleet, the Northern Fleet here specifically, and get it closer to Europe and the United States so that when America is ready to attack, beep, 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 incoming! Do not share this video. Do not like it and do not support us. Support CNN. Support Anderson Cooper and Don Lemon. Support Fox. Bill O'Reilly, and MSNPC. Support them. Why would you want what I'm telling you to get out there to anyone? Why would you want to awaken anybody else? Because it is damaging, and it is damning, and it is tough to take. It's psychological warfare in and of itself. So I'm telling you right now, don't share any of the content we put up, and especially don't share this video today. Unless you want to pull the wool over people's eyes. But I'm telling you right now, it's dangerous, because when people wake up, a shitstorm is coming to this country. A shitstorm. The anger's there. The rage is there. People understand. They know the truth. So do not share this video, and do not like it, and do not favorite it, and do not tweet it, and do not face crook it, and do not you screw it. And most importantly, do not support us. I dare you. I'm Christopher Green. You're watching AMTV, Alternative Media Television. As always, hard-hitting and in your face.